Hello there. I knew the camera was on. You're probably wondering, what am I doing? Well, this is a video, very interesting video here on bringing you into my world of editing sheet music and books. And I am currently involved in a very large scale project here, which is preparing all 427 of Bach, J.S. Bach's four-part chorales. There are various books, there are actually several books that already have Bach chorales. So why am I doing another edition? Why do we need another one? Well, mine is a little different than all of the other ones. So I'm going to go over those some of those differences here. But what I was just doing when you were first saw me come on the camera is I am currently adjusting margins, and I have all 427 chorales written out now and formatted pretty well. I have 7 systems per page. It's a total of 280 something pages in all. I've been working on this for about 6 months. It's May 5th, 2021 as I speak. I've been working on this large project pretty much. It's the only project I've worked on for about the last 6 months. I have smaller projects sort of in the works as well, but I sort of wanted to get this going, and this is about right now 90% complete. So I wanted to really complete this first before I got going on some of the smaller and more medium-sized projects for BachScholar Publishing. Just to let you know what small and medium-sized projects are, a small project would be something like Beethoven's Chorales, which is just a few pages long, and it doesn't have a hard cover. That's like a small project. That would maybe take a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks, depending on what other projects I'm working on as well. Medium-sized project, a good example of that is Mozart's 24 Youthful Masterpieces, which consists of about 25 pages or so. And that's a nice, this was a lot of editing though. This took actually a lot of time to do. This is sort of a medium-sized project, which if I weren't working on any other things, this would take probably 3 to 4 months, maybe, because depending on how much editing is involved in it and fingering and everything like that. Putting in fingering takes a long time, actually, by the way. It takes a long time to put in fingering. You wouldn't expect that. Joseph Lamb's 12 Classic Rags for Piano, another one of my editions, most recent editions, took me several months. This is a nice medium-sized project. This consists of 49 pages. This Bach's 427 four-part chorales that I've been working on is a very large project. This one is sort of on the lines of like sight reading and harmony. Sight reading and harmony took me probably a good calendar year to write and to organize and to get ready and to publish. So this took a full year. That's the same with the 427 chorales of Bach that I'm working on here. This is my Sibelius file. I use Sibelius Ultimate 2020 edition, which I recently upgraded to from my older, I believe it was like I don't know, it was about 10 years old or something. So I upgraded to Ultimate 2020, which is a better edition of Sibelius. And this is what it looks like. This is 280 something pages long. And right now I'm involved with making sure the indentations are correct on the beginning of each chorale and that the number is indented correctly and everything. So very often I'll listen to music with headphones while I'm doing this, just to make the time pass by quicker. And so you want to make sure that that everything is formatted correctly. That in this particular edition, I want to make sure that everything is legible. Okay, so if you take the very famous Bach, the Riemenschneider edition with 371 chorales, you open this up, you say, oh my God, look at that. Everything is squished together. It's very difficult to read. So I wanted to make an edition that would be similar to this. It's sort of, the layout is similar in that it is in alphabetical order, not exactly the same way as they do in the Riemenschneider, but I wanted to lay it out in a similar fashion to the Riemenschneider, but just make it more legible. And so I've done that. When you compare my manuscript with the Riemenschneider manuscript, there's absolutely no comparison. It is much, much easier to read mine than the Riemenschneider. And the secret was that I had to determine how many measures to put in each line. If it's too many measures, the notes get squished together. If it's not enough measures, they're too far apart and it looks too dumbed down. So you don't want to dumb it down with everything too far apart, and you don't want everything squished together to where you can't read it. So one of the trickiest things about the formatting in my new edition of Bach's Chorales was getting it just right, making every chorale legible, but at the same time, fitting 7 systems on one page and making it all in alphabetical order. And if you look at, this is my table of contents. This is my master file of the table of contents, and all in alphabetical order. This is 13 pages long. So I had to make sure that all of these corresponded exactly to my Sibelius file, which I just made sure a couple weeks ago. I went through everything with a fine-tooth comb to make sure they correspond, and they do. So they're in order, everything is formatted. Now I'm working on the fine points of formatting. I'm getting back down to the very nitty-gritty of formatting right now. There's also a few other editions that I work from, that I use as sources. I use, in addition to Riemenschneider, of course, the famous one, which I showed you, 4-Part Chorales of Bach by Charles Sanford Terry, another great book. He has something 400 or so approximately in here, and he has texts. So that's one thing that I do not have. I do not have the words or the text to the chorales. So he has the chorales plus the text. This is excellent. This is an excellent work of scholarship that I use a lot in my research and my organization. This one also, J.S. Bach, 413 chorales. This one happens to be with Roman numeral analyses. When I bought this, I didn't realize it also comes, you can order it without the Roman numeral analysis, which I would have done, but I didn't know about that. So Christopher Czarnecki, he organizes these and also in alphabetical order. And a nice spiral-bound book here, 413 chorales. I also have this one here, 4-Part Chorales by Bach, collected and arranged in melodic order by H. Elliott Button. This is from the 1920s, and then it was republished in the 1980s with a preface by Peter Williams. This is actually my preferred edition and what I used to prepare sight reading and harmony with. So probably 90% of my manuscript for my Bach chorale book actually comes from here, because it's excellent. This is excellent. There's no mistakes here. And everything is very meticulous, but also it's hard to read. It's not as hard to read as the Riemenschneider, but I do love this edition, but it's out of print. That's the only thing. They don't make these anymore, so it's difficult to find this book. And then last but not least is Luke Don's edition here. If you go to Bach-chorales.com, This is Dr. Luke Don's website, and he has the Don edition of the Bach Chorales from 2018. This is up to date, the most complete edition with 420 chorales, but not only does he have 420, more than 413, but he also has a lot of useful indexes and a lot of data for musicological research, a lot of data that I will not have in mine. So I use this a lot. I happen to not have his book in hard copy yet. I still have to order it. I will order it very soon, but I've been using this very helpful website for my research, especially the sortable chorale index here, which I use a lot for my ordering, both by BWV numbers or by alphabetical ordering. So I've used all those sources, those 5 sources that I've just shown you, and that's what I've used to make my master file here of the 427 chorales. The 427 chorales come from, actually there are some in this, the 413 chorale book, that Luke Don does not have in his 420 chorales, and vice versa. So what I've done is I've taken everything, all the chorales from everywhere that I could find, from this one and from Luke Don's, and I've come up with 427. So I have more chorales than any other book, which is interesting. I will not have all the indexes and the musicological information that Luke Don does, though. So if you want to, and I won't have any text, so there's no words or text to the chorales. This is just the music to the chorales, because I wanted to make it accessible for performers, pianists, and organists, because it's excellent for performing, sight reading, and theory analysis. So I'm just going over this. It's May 5th right now as I speak, and my basic routine is I get up usually early in the morning. I spend maybe an hour on this every morning, early in the morning, before I start my other chores in the day. And yeah, this is what I do. And I like to format music. This is my big project, my latest very big, large project that I've been working on. Thank God all the notes are written out for all the chorales. So I have all the notes, and I have all the systems, 7 systems on each page. And as I said, 280 some pages. So this is what I do in my free time when I'm not teaching or I'm not making videos for either for YouTube or The Well-Rounded Pianist. I like to just sit here and stare at it. I look at it and I try to find, maybe something will be misaligned, something won't be centered correctly, I'll have to center it better. So I like to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and right now I'm involved with these, the pagination to make sure the indentations are correct. So this is a little glimpse into my world. Thank you for joining me today, and until we meet again.